This is a step-by-step instructional video for our Therma Kleen portable model Ultra 1300 high-pressure steam cleaning system. Your next step is to secure the 40-pound LPG vaporous style cylinder to the machine with the bungee cord or strap that comes included with every machine. The next thing you need to do is to secure the LPG regulator hose from the LPG regulator to the machine. Next, secure a garden hose from the spout to the inlet swivel fitting on the machine. You have secured the garden hose to the inlet of the machine. Carefully secure the high pressure steam hose to the outlet of the machine. There's a swivel fitting there, tightening it securely. Your next step should be to secure a 3-prong extension cord, female, to the male plug coming out of the machine, preferably using a 12-gauge extension cord. Your next step should be attaching the sidebar handle into the side of the insulation piece on the gun wand, securing it again carefully. The next thing you need to do is to do what you did earlier, but attaching the high pressure steam hose end, male end, to the female swivel fitting at the bottom of the gun. Again, secure tightly. Making sure that your water hose is attached to your hose bib, open the water valve completely. Time to engage your pump switch, which is on the top panel of the machine, to the on position. Engage or squeeze the trigger at the gun, where you see water coming out from the other end. After you notice the water coming out smoothly at the other end of the gun, your next step should be to engage the pump switch on top of the machine. The water should be coming out smoothly. At the next step, you should release the gun, handle, trigger, stopping the water, depressing the trigger again to make sure there are no airlocks. If it's sputtering, as you see here, release the trigger again, building the pressure to the end of the gun, squeezing again to make sure all air is out of the system, doing this as many times as necessary to make sure all of the air is spent from the end of the gun. Okay. Your next step, after all of the air has been spent and the water is running through the end of the gun freely, while the water is coming out, you then open the silver valve on top of the propane tank all the way, and then engage the ignition switch to the on position till the burner lights. At this time, getting any residual air from out of the system would mean to disengage the gun, leading off the gun, squeezing it again. The burner should come back on automatically, and once again, disengaging the gun until the burner comes back on. With the pump running and the gun disengaged, unscrew the fan nozzle from off of the top of the machine, indicated by the nozzle holder, tightening up the nozzle securely. This should only be done after all the air is spent from out of the end of the gun. Then, once the nozzle's back on, you can proceed to squeeze the trigger where you'll dangerous. That's okay if you really want to reduce the water flow, but you will reduce some cleaning efficiency. The cool down procedure, shutting down the machine, you should first shut the ignition switch off to the off position, allowing the machine to cool down to a temperature somewhere around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. While this is happening, while it's cooling down, the water should be coming out at the end of the gun. You can then shut the valve off, the LP gas valve, all the way to the off position. Once it reaches about 100 degrees, you can then safely shut the pump switch off. Is the pattern you should be using with the fan nozzle at about 240 to 250 degrees. It's a wet steam with a nice edge. Going closer to the concrete gives you a more powerful edge, pulling away back from it, a lesser one. Either way, you're getting high temperature, pressure 1300. Also comes with a glass nozzle. It would be a brass 3-inch long nozzle that's in the box. The box with all the different parts and components that come with each and every machine. Simply screw it on the end of the gun. This nozzle produces what is known as a 0-degree pattern. You can run it your temperatures up to about 300 degrees or so, where the steam still comes out in a strong formation, and it comes out at what we call a 0-degree angle. This would be ideal for getting behind areas where you'd like to shoot further. It's a nozzle that you could run easily at 300 degrees and above to give you desired cleaning effect. What it doesn't have is an edge like the fan nozzle, so it doesn't cut as well, but it will melt and emulsify and shoot further. You've just witnessed the setup procedures and operating procedures of the 1300 portable high-pressure steam cleaner. Within these series of propane-fired units, we also have the 600 featured next to it, and also the 250, the same physical size as the 600. The 600, Ultra 600 steam cleaner produces 600 psi. The 250 model, not featured here, but the same physical dimensions and sizes, at 250 psi. The 1300 psi unit produces 1300 psi. That's why we call it the Ultra 1300. The 1300 model has a 50-foot high-pressure steam hose with it. The 600 250, a 25-foot length. The 600 and the 250 do not come with a chemical injection system standard, but an external one is available, whereas the 1300 does come with an upstream or internal soap ejection system. All three units reach steam temperatures. easily. The 600 requires less fuel pressure, and the 250 requires less pressure than the 1300. All these three units are available not only in propane, but in natural gas as well. Most people prefer the 1300 because it's very portable. The 600 and the 250, the propane series, because it's very portable. It can be used indoors with the LP. The natural gas must be vented, and you would have to give up your portability, making a more stationary unit. All machines are made quality-wise, made in the United States by us at Therma Kleen. Easy to operate, easy to run, very efficient.